Got it, thumbs up. You want part 2 of Justin Timberlake walks off Kelly Clarkson's show after heated clash, in a 1,500-word dramatic narrative style continuation of the rumor storyline. Here's part 2, 1,500 words, no headings, just a smooth narrative. The aftermath of Justin Timberlake's sudden walk-off from Kelly Clarkson's show sent ripples through both fan bases, sparking endless debates about what had really happened on that brightly lit stage. What started as a cheerful interview promoting his new music had turned into an unexpected storm of tension, leaving everyone from the studio audience to millions of viewers online grasping for answers. Kelly Clarkson, ever the professional, managed to close the segment with a forced smile, but those who were there could sense the shift in energy. Something in the air had changed, and it wasn't just stage nerves. When the cameras cut, producers immediately surrounded Kelly, their earpieces buzzing with confused chatter. "Do we go to commercial early? What's the next segment?" one whispered. Kelly brushed them off with a calm wave, though inside she was still replaying the last few minutes in her mind. Justin had seemed fine at first, relaxed, charming, joking about life on tour and the challenges of balancing music with family life. But then the conversation turned toward his past collaborations and controversies, and the energy in the room seemed to dip. Kelly had asked a question that she thought was harmless. "You've reinvented yourself so many times, Justin," she said brightly. "From NSYNC to solo albums, to acting, do you ever feel pressure to keep up that perfect image?" For a moment, Justin smiled politely. But then the smile faded. He shifted in his seat, his gaze hardening just a little too long for television comfort. "Perfect image," he repeated. "That's funny. I don't think perfection is what anyone should aim for." The tone in his voice was calm but sharp enough to make the audience hold their breath. Kelly laughed awkwardly, trying to ease the tension. "Oh, totally, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant, people expect so much from you, you know," she added, her southern warmth turning nervous. But Justin wasn't letting it go so easily. "Yeah," he said, his voice lower now. "They expect you to smile, to play the game, even when they're tearing you apart." There was a beat of silence. The live audience, unsure whether this was still part of the show's playful banter, clapped hesitantly. Kelly's producer made a circular gesture with his finger from the side of the stage, signaling her to move on. But before she could, Justin stood up, removed his microphone, and said softly, "I think I'm done." The cameras kept rolling a few seconds longer than they should have. Kelly tried to call after him, "Wait, Justin, hold on," but he had already stepped off stage. The audience gasped, some whispering, others filming on their phones despite strict no recording rules. The segment cut to an impromptu commercial break, and just like that, the clip began its journey toward viral infamy. Within hours, hashtags like #TimberlakeWalkOff and #KellyClash were trending worldwide. Part of the reason it spread so quickly was the mystery surrounding what had really triggered the outburst. Fans dissected every frame of the broadcast, zooming in on Kelly's facial expressions, reading Justin's lips, and crafting theories that ranged from a publicity stunt to a personal feud dating back years. Others defended Justin, suggesting he had been unfairly provoked or misinterpreted. As usual, social media turned speculation into a storm of opinions. By midnight, several entertainment blogs had already published conflicting reports, some claiming Justin stormed out due to disrespectful questions. Others insisting he left for urgent personal reasons. Behind the scenes, Kelly Clarkson's team scrambled to control the narrative. Her publicist released a short statement the next morning, calling the moment a misunderstanding taken out of context, and praising Timberlake as a beloved artist and friend. But the damage was done. Clips of the tense exchange racked up millions of views on TikTok and YouTube. One slowed-down version of Justin removing his microphone became the most replayed moment, analyzed frame by frame like a scandalous piece of evidence. Meanwhile, Justin's representatives stayed silent. No apology, no explanation, nothing but quiet. For 3 days, his social media accounts remained inactive. When he finally resurfaced, it was through an Instagram story showing him rehearsing with his band, captioned simply, "Focus on the music." Fans were divided. Some praised him for ignoring the noise, while others accused him of arrogance. In the days that followed, talk shows and podcasts seized the moment. On The View, one host joked, maybe Justin just needed a break from small talk. On Entertainment Tonight, a panel discussed whether celebrity interviews had become too invasive. These stars are human, one analyst said. They're tired of being reminded of their past mistakes on national TV. Others argued that walking off was unprofessional. Either way, the incident dominated entertainment headlines for nearly a week. For Kelly Clarkson, the hardest part was the personal guilt she couldn't shake. Though she hadn't meant to offend him, she couldn't help but wonder if her words had struck a nerve. In private, she asked her producer to reach out to Justin's team to apologize. "Tell him I didn't mean for it to sound judgmental," she said quietly, running a hand through her hair as she sat in her dressing room. The producer nodded, promising to handle it delicately. But Justin never responded. Industry insiders whispered that the tension between the two might have deeper roots. Some speculated that Kelly had once turned down a collaboration offer from Timberlake's label years earlier. Others believed Justin still felt sensitive about past controversies that had recently resurfaced online. Whatever the truth, both sides stayed tight-lipped, letting the public imagination run wild. Weeks passed, and as the buzz slowly began to fade, Kelly finally addressed the incident indirectly during another episode of her show. "Sometimes conversations go places you don't expect," she said at the end of a segment. "But I believe in grace and understanding, even when things get awkward." The audience applauded warmly, sensing the unspoken reference. It was her way of closing the chapter without reopening old wounds. However, the entertainment world wasn't ready to move on just yet. A leaked clip from an unaired portion of the interview surfaced online, reigniting the controversy. The clip showed Justin visibly uncomfortable when Kelly mentioned his early 2000s image in public scrutiny. His response, edited out of the final broadcast, was curt: "People love to talk about your past when they've got nothing new to ask." That line set off another wave of debate. Fans argued that the show's producers had intentionally edited the episode to protect both parties, while conspiracy theories claimed it was a deliberate ploy to boost ratings. Behind closed doors, both Timberlake and Clarkson reportedly agreed not to discuss the incident publicly again. Their teams privately negotiated to ensure neither side would appear to be attacking the other. Industry relationships were delicate, and both stars knew how quickly reputation could turn. In the fickle world of pop culture, perception was everything. Still, months later, whenever Kelly hosted a male pop artist or former boy band member, someone online would inevitably post, "Wonder if this one will walk off too." The shadow of that day lingered like a stain that couldn't quite fade. Justin, on the other hand, began to subtly reference resilience and personal growth in his concerts. During one performance in Los Angeles, he paused mid-set and said, "Sometimes silence speaks louder than explanations." The crowd roared, interpreting it however they wished. Privately, those close to both stars admitted that what happened wasn't truly about one awkward question. It was about timing, pressure, and exhaustion. Both had been working tirelessly, Kelly juggling her talk show and music, Justin preparing for his next tour. The clash was less a feud and more a moment of human frustration caught under studio lights. Months later, when awards season rolled around, both appeared at the same event for the first time since the incident. Cameras followed their every move as they crossed paths backstage. Kelly smiled, extended a hand, and said, "Hey, long time no see." Justin paused, then smiled back. "Good to see you too, Kelly." It lasted only seconds, but fans noticed. Within minutes, screenshots of the brief interaction trended again. Proof, some said, that the tension had finally lifted. By the end of the year, the story had become just another chapter in the unpredictable book of celebrity culture, a moment blown up, dissected, and eventually forgotten by all but the most dedicated gossip followers. Yet for Kelly and Justin, it remained a quiet reminder of how even well-intentioned conversations can spiral when the spotlight burns too bright. In the end, neither of them ever publicly explained the full story. Perhaps they didn't need to. Sometimes the silence between two people says more than any press statement ever could. Check mark word count. Approximately 1,520 words. Would you like me to write a part 3, another 1,500 words, continuing what happens months later, maybe a reunion episode or a behind-the-scenes reconciliation?